Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. Wednesday, new album review day. We've got another one for you here today. And Nick Yusofian, this one's for you, my man. Nick has been asking me to wear a hat on the air. I'm not really much of a hat guy, but I do have some cool, funky hats that I wear very, very rarely. So I figure he's been asking, been one of our longtime viewers. And Nick, I figured I'd do you a solid here today. So there you have it. This one, released this year, German band. Formerly a Yes tribute band, but they've decided to do all original material over the last year. This is their second album. The band is called Fragile, or Fragile, as I know the Brits like to say, and I kind of like that better. Fragile sounds better than fragile. Fragile, 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 however you say it. The album is called Beyond, and look at that. Yes flavored, Roger Dean flavored album artwork there, right? Pretty cool. This one is 3 tracks. Let's take a little bit of a look here on the inside. You got some little more artwork there. So the band is Claire Hamill on lead vocals. Claire it should be a name to some people. She has done some vocal work with John Anderson and Steve Howe and Wishbone Ash and plenty of other acts. Oliver Day on guitars, Russ Wilson on drums and percussion, and Max Hunt on bass, keyboards, guitar, percussion, and vocals. Interestingly enough, they don't, at least not on the album, I'm not sure, like live shows or what have you, on the album they don't have like a full-time keyboard player. It's like Max, the bass player, also plays keyboards, which is really weird because there's a lot of keyboards on the album. But just to give you an idea, there's a couple live shots of the band, right? And Prayer Pods by Steve Mayerson. Not sure what that's all about. Prayer Pods, maybe he's the guy who drew the artwork. That might be it, right? So as you can imagine, seeing as this band was a Yes tribute band, the music is very similar to Yes. Claire's vocals, obviously, she's a woman, right? So she's got that kind of like, she's got a higher, tone to her voice, that little bit of a falsetto, but she's not quite going into John Anderson territory. There are similarities, sure, but she's coming across more like maybe a less kind of operatic Annie Haslam. More, to me, her vocal style sounds more like kind of like a jazz, like a lounge singer type of thing. She's not going for that kind of like too proggy, too space rocky, which I think is kind of interesting, and that gives this album and their songs and their music that little bit of a different flavor. So to me, when I listen to this album, as opposed to what I'm going to show you in a minute, to me this doesn't sound like Yes copycat stuff much at all. Other than some of the guitar work, certainly some of the way they arrange the keyboards, but you don't have that big, Chris Squire bass sound coming on. So I don't know. I listened to this, and I Ken Golden from the Laser's Edge, he talked about this on last week's In the Prog Seat show, and he basically, said that this is, sounds exactly like Yes. I'm gonna say I don't think it sounds exactly like Yes. There are a lot of similarities, sure, but I've listened to other bands that sound more like Yes than this does. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with Claire Hamill's vocals. I think that at times she adds, like I said, this kind of like jazzy element to the songs that really takes it out of Yes sphere totally. And at times, I almost think her vocals don't match the music, as weird as it sounds. She's a fine singer. She's a really good singer, actually. But sometimes, especially on this album, the way she's phrasing things and the way they kind of mixed in the vocals, I don't know if it always matches the music. But that's okay, because I think that's what gives it, to me, a little bit of different flavor than just a strict Yes knockoff. So you only have 3 tracks on here. You got the title track, Beyond, which is broken down into 5 sections. That's like just under 22 minutes long. That's pretty cool. The instrumental sections are really, really nice. The production on this album is pretty good, but it definitely, when I listen to this whole album, I hear like mid to late 90s prog rock releases. Like for those of you who maybe weren't getting into or collecting a lot of the prog albums that were popping up all over the place throughout the 90s. It was kind of like, that was like the third wave of prog rock that started in the early 90s. I heard a lot of bands that were just coming up out of the woodwork, and I bought a ton of stuff. Bands that were just, trying to sound like Yes or Gentle Giant or ELP or King Crimson, what have you. And it was all like kind of homegrown production values and just like just missing something, but you still can enjoy the music and see where the inspiration's coming from, but there was something kind of really almost generic sounding to it. And I think the production values of this album kind of remind me of that era. Remind me of the early, mid, late 90s, where you were getting all these bands popping up that wanted to sound like Yes. Again, wanted to recapture the classic sounds of the 70s. But I will say the songs here are really good, though. And the musicianship is top-notch. The title track is great. Then you've got the second track is called Yours and Mine, which is just under 15 minutes long. It's split up into two sections, Like There's No Tomorrow and Diorama. That's really good. And then probably my favorite track on the whole album is the last one, The Golden Ring of Time, which is just over 14 minutes. That's really cool. Again, a lot of kind of weaving guitars and keyboards and intricate arrangements, lots of atmosphere, lots of melody. It's pretty melodic. And I think that Claire's vocals, for me, work best on that last track. So I like the album. Do I think it's like, one of the great releases of 2021? Not quite, but it is fun. And I think if you really like Yes a lot, and maybe The Quest and the last couple of Yes albums haven't really done it for you, and you want to hear something by a newer band that is trying to hone in on that style, you certainly couldn't go wrong with this. I would recommend this easily. I like it. I think I would. I kind of went in thinking I would like this more, but I do enjoy it. For me, if I was going to rank this and rate it, I would say probably a very solid 3.5 out of 5 stars. Right. So that's that. However, I do want to mention, since we're talking about Fragile, they released their first album in 2020, which we didn't get a chance to talk about here, and that particular album is called Golden Fragments. Very similar art style, right? I believe it's the same guy, I guess. Steve Mayerson, yes. This is called The Sky Castle. Again, very Roger Deanish, very cool. This has, I believe, this is the lineup of Claire Hamill on vocals, Oliver Day on guitars, Russ Wilson on drums and percussion, and Max Hunt again on vocals, keyboards, bass, guitar, and percussion, with Clive Bailey guesting on vocals on 2 tracks. So, again, released in 2020. This has more songs, shorter tracks. So it's got When Our War's Won, Surely All I Need, 12 and Change, Blessed by the Sun, Hey You and I, 640, Five Senses, 434, Heaven's Core, 629, Open Space, 231, Time to Dream / Now We Are Sunlight, 629, and Old Worlds and Kingdoms / Too Late in the Day, 1124. 50 minutes in length, whereas this one is roughly about 50 minutes long. So they're both around 50 minutes. I gotta say, I like this one better. I think Golden Fragments is it's a little more upbeat. I think Claire's vocals work a little better with the music on this album. She sounds really kind of laid back and, like I say, like she's trying to be jazzy on the new album, whereas here she's a little more aggressive. She's a little more kind of like matching with the music, and I find that this album, I don't want to say it like rocks a little more, because neither one of these albums are big rocking albums, but I think this one is daring to be, I don't know, a little more Yes-like. I don't know. I find if you're going to pick, considering that they are a Yes tribute band, I think basically this album, they sound more like Yes. And I think here, it's almost like they're slightly trying to break away from it a little bit, which, maybe is a good thing. Right, I'm not going to hold it against them. So, but I think like either one of these are really, really good, And if you're a big fan of Yes and you haven't heard this band, Fragile, I think, is definitely a band for you. Rand Kelly, I'm talking to you, especially if you haven't heard these guys. I think this is right up your alley. But just picture, like, classic Yes mixed with a little Renaissance, maybe a little Camel thrown in there as well. It's 70s inspired prog done today, basically. And I do like this. I think, I've only had these for, I don't know, not even a week. So I've listened to them a bunch of times each, and I am enjoying them. I think I thought they were going to rock my world a little bit more than they did, but I do enjoy them, and I think they're going to grow on me. But the musicianship is outstanding. If you want to hear lots of cool keys and guitars in the Yes spirit and, some cool female vocals, you really can't go wrong here. You really can't go wrong here. So check them out. Fragile, Golden Fragments, and Beyond are their 2020 and 2021 releases. So this is the brand new one, Beyond. So check it out. And this is on the way. And by the way, to order these, go on over to Ken Golden's Laser's Edge site. That is lasercd.com. He's got them in stock, so you can go check them out there, and he'll get them out to you really quick, because Ken ships very, very quickly. You'll have your stuff in 2-3 days tops. So thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Take care. We'll see you soon. I got one more of these for you today. I didn't think I would be able to deliver more new album reviews, but I've been listening to this stuff for the last couple hours. I know it's late, but better late than never, I always say, right? So thanks, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow morning with the second to last day of 31 Progressive Rock stocking stuffers for the holidays from 1971. We got Double Shot of the Monsters Den tomorrow. Friday morning, we got a couple really cool programs. Martin Popoff and I are taking a week off. We'll be back next week, but we got a couple other cool things happening for you on Friday, so don't miss out on that. And also tomorrow, we've got going to be recording album homework assignment for Sunday, so that's happening. Jack Toledano going up against Rick Labonte, so that's happening tomorrow for Sunday, so you'll see that Sunday in its regular slot. And and Happy New Year to everybody, in case I don't see you between now and then, but most of you I know will be here, because we're all here all the damn time. I am Pete Pardo. See you soon. Bye-bye.